Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to Congregation Beth Shalom's Take Home Torah, Vayakhel Pekudei edition. So this week, we finish reading the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus. We finish with the building of the Mishkan. In this last section of 5 chapters, the first 2, Moses gets the instructions from God on how to build the Mishkan. And in these last 2, God gives these instructions to the Israelites. And the Mishkan is built. The Mishkan, this sacred dwelling, this place where God tells Moses, B'shachanti b'tocham, I will dwell within you. This is that place. And what I love about this part is that I've always loved the description of the people who are bringing the materials for the Mishkan to be built. They're always talked about people coming from the heart. People, Nadiv Lev, who have willingness from the heart. The skilled people, the phrase in the Torah for skilled is Chacham Lev, for like wisdom of the heart. The women, B'cho Isha Chachmat Lev, the women who did all the weaving, they were all these skilled craftsperson. It was a labor of the heart, always from the heart, always that emotional tie that kind of transcends the head. In many ways, maybe transcends the soul, just that pure emotion. And it is in the spirit that the people bring all this material. And Rabbi Shai Held points out 2 commentators who talk about what this means, that the people bring it from the heart. Rabbi Yitzchak Abravanel, a 15th century Spanish commentator, talks about how each and every one of them brought these things with no ulterior motives. It wasn't about status. It wasn't about recognition. It was about creating a sacred space and being able with your heart to be part of that. And the Malbim, a 19th century rabbi from Russia, who talks about, gives this midrash, this story of how the poor who couldn't afford to bring any of these things would imagine what they would bring if they had the means. And God received those thoughts as if those gifts were concrete. Now, it's a bit ironic to study this right now in our time, because our concrete sacred space is a space we have not been able to go to now for an entire year. And no, it hasn't been easy. However, we have managed to create some sacred space of our own, albeit in virtual boxes on devices, with a little bit of human contact sprinkled in when we could. But we still were able to make and adapt, to make space for all those things. We found ways to be able to pray together, to sing together, to study together, to laugh together, and just to cry together. We were still able to support and sustain each other. And now, as we're going forward, we need to start thinking about what it's going to look like when we're out of our virtual boxes and back in our space. Because it will not be the same. We will all be changed. And we need to acknowledge that, for the world will have changed. And we don't know what the world will look like. We don't know what our customs and what we do will look like. And there's some fear around that of what do we do? And that's when, coincidence, amazing, maybe, maybe not, but the Torah brings us the answer. Our ancient teachings brings us the answer. Because with thanks to Rabbi Sharon Brous, who brought this teaching the other week. She points out that when the architect of the Mishkan, the person who supervises the building, Bitzalel, that master artisan, is described in both when God tells Moses and when Moses imparts this to the people. He's described as, God says, V'amalei oto ruach Elohim. I've given him, I've endowed him with a ruach Elohim, a spirit of God. B'chachma uvivuna uvda'at, with wisdom and understanding and knowledge. And Rabbi Brous points out that Rashi is the one who brings us the key to all of this. Because Rashi, in his beautiful, wonderful, simple way, really tells us what this means. Because Rashi's question is, what do these three words do mean? What do they mean? Chokhmah, the wisdom. Binah, the understanding. And Da'at, the knowledge. Chokhmah, he says, wisdom is when a person hears from others and learns from others. To bring them in, hears it, takes it in. Tivuna, understanding. Understanding is seeing what's in your own heart, what's in your own heart and mind. The words of your heart. He says, actually directly, the things of your heart. And you figure to take that in, adding it to the wisdom, to the chokhmah that you've already learned. And da'at, Rashi says, Ruach HaKodesh, divine inspiration. And so there we have it, because we do have it. We've had this year behind us. We have some time going forward to really start to think, what is the wisdom that I've taken in this year that's been so hard and yet taught me so much? What's the understanding that I've gained through the lens of this wisdom that I've been taught? And putting those two together, I just need to trust the divine inspiration with the help of those around me and the divine inspiration they receive as well. And together, all of us will be able to walk back into our Mishkan, into our sacred space, and to also recreate and make a new sacred space that we all can be together. Good Shabbos. Chodesh Tov, as Sunday is the 1st of Nisan. And may you have some easy preparations as we walk these steps towards Pesach. Take care.